I wanted to thank everybody for the last 5 years of support. You've been able to help us keep our mission growing by generous donations, hosting events for us, but then also over the last 5 years, our Agriculture Grant Program Fund has been able to award 27 grants to very deserving veterans and their dependents, a little over $200,000 of support. As a low barrier entrance grant, we are often the stepping stone for these veterans looking to start or build their business in agriculture. As a result of that, we're looking to help keep the mission growing by expanding the ways that we can support those veterans, both now and in the future. I think two of our DVF core values tie into that, and it's through the ability to have continued service. We all want to have a purpose and a sense of belonging, but then also the transformation that takes place. And what we've seen with our grant recipients over the last 5 years is how the funding makes their dreams become a reality. And then for myself, it was a way for me to come back home to Oregon and then start something meaningful that would have impacts here, both in the Pacific Northwest and then nationwide. You know, we're all over the United States and beyond. And so every different assignment, every duty station, every job you've had, every deployment makes an impact. And when we have that opportunity to help each and every one of them find purpose, to be able to think in a regenerative state on how what they want to do is useful within their community. It gives veterans to realize that they can come back to wherever they're making home, a positive influence for them and then the people that will benefit from it, whether they're coming in to visit or they're making it an opportunity for them to have access to different types of agriculture, whether that's shepherding, it's beekeeping, the byproducts of all of this within their community. When you think of our mission of helping veterans translate their talents from the field to farm, for me, growing up here in Oregon, surrounded by agriculture, spending the majority of my time out both in nature with animals, I knew that I didn't have a family farm or a ranch to take over, but I did have a connection to this land here and wanting to be a steward of it. And so when we started exploring the opportunity of creating a nonprofit focused on veterans and agriculture, I thought that this gave me a different purpose. And for someone that works as a volunteer, and we have an all-volunteer board, it's the passion that keeps you going. But our goals over the next 2 to 3 years will hopefully develop into us being able to have a nonprofit with a staff, with volunteers, and then having a board come together in a governing sense so that we can continue moving forward as part of the Farmer Veteran Coalition chapter here in Oregon, our partnerships that we have in the community, such as Joy's Living Assistance Dogs, and then our other nonprofits here, both in the state of Oregon, and then nationwide and internationally, that are all focused both on agriculture and helping veterans. So that's what keeps me going, because I see that we have a future, both nationwide and internationally. We had founded ourselves in 2020 at the height of a pandemic, but we saw a need in the community. And that was right before I went on my most recent deployment. During Operation Allies Welcome, the thing that kept me going was knowing that I was coming home here to Oregon after the end of that, and it felt very comforting to me. I knew that I'd come back here in the tasting room, the same place I've been working for years, and it just felt like a second home, that I would get the opportunity to learn about other veterans and how agriculture helped provide that therapeutic benefit. I think of working with John out at Valor Point, the VA domiciliary in Denver, Colorado, and being able to get veterans from his organizations, ones that he had mentored, and being able to plant trees that produced fruit and different types of vegetables so that the people that were living at the domiciliary had an opportunity to learn how to farm without power tools, and they would be able to pick food from outside and bring it directly back in. I think of Candy down in Jacksonville, our first female grant recipient, and her husband, both veterans, being able to transform nothing into an amazing no-till soil area that they can use to help regenerative cover, and there are so many different things with it you've seen in our videos. And then I think of here in our backyard in Oregon, between our wine connoisseurs, our grape growers, the vineyard managers, the shepherders, the hazelnut tree planters, anything and everything in between. But then mostly the people that I haven't got to meet, I think about them. Our maple syrup folks up in Northern Washington, out in West Virginia, our native indigenous bison ranchers that we have down in Texas. And there's just so many more that we can continue to think of these very important stories. And so what I appreciate the most is being able to go and do events where we get to see the community of our grant recipients, how it's making an impact, and then getting to see all the really cute animals, like up in Washington with Jake from US Rake Force and having our Wine in the Woods event out there. So there's more to come. There's more support that we need to make these events a reality. And thank you so much for your help and being a part of that history. I'll challenge everybody here to think of a way that they can spend their hard-earned funds or their own personal raised funds to help Dauntless Veteran Foundation before the end of the year and beyond. You can do a one-time donation, you can do a monthly recurring donation, and then you can choose to donate specifically to our Agriculture Grant Program Fund, or donate in the name of somebody else that you feel you'd like to honor in their memory as a part of that. So whether it's giving directly to us today or in the future, think about the best way that you can be able to help support our veterans and help us keep the mission growing by $1 at a time. Thank you for your continued support of the Dauntless Veteran Foundation today and in the future. Help us keep our mission growing.